Hey, you're back. It's good to see you.
I'm back. It's good to see you too.
Yes. So, as everyone knows, I'm Jana with Pearl Together, and this is Rebecca from the Needlepoint Joint in Ogden, Utah, my not so local yarn store.
Hello.
Yay. So, Rebecca's back to talk about our next knit along. So, she's going to help me announce it and show you the yarn kits they've curated for all of you if you want to order from them. As always, you're welcome to knit from stash, but they've put together 3 different colorways for our next sweater knit along. Should we just tell them what it is and then we can talk about the pattern?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's the Ripples sweater by Hilly Sluis, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing her last name correctly because I don't speak Dutch, but it's an interesting pattern. It's a kind of a boxy cut, knitted from the bottom up, and then you separate for the sleeves, knit the front back and forth, knit the back and forth, 3 needle bind off on the shoulders, and then the sleeves are knitted from the cuff up and the sleeves are set in.
Yeah, I love this. I've been seeing a lot of these kind of boxy sweaters. In fact, I've been knitting a lot of these, and they're so cozy this time of year.
Yes.
'Cause you can move, but they're still warm. I love them.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this.
And I like the boxy because it hides things I, need to extra fluff that I would prefer not to reveal.
As a woman of a certain age, I certainly appreciate that. There are things the world does not need to see.
Right. But can we take a moment to see your fantastic swancho?
Oh, yeah. So this is the
Ooh,
witching hour.
love it.
And then we have a local artist here who does earrings, and she did these beautiful earrings that are a perfect match.
Wow.
So
Love the
I love
ribbon.
this.
Yep.
I love it.
You and I were talking about that because I've cast on one for my daughter. Not so we've talked about that a little bit, but we digress. So that's fantastic. And I love that. It looks wonderful on you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the ripples, you all have put together a kit that's sort of similar. It's very similar to the original colorways in the photo on the pattern. And then you've
Right.
put together a sort of pearl together colorway
Yes.
because you know how we love the purples.
I hadn't noticed.
And then you've put together kind of a warmish colorway, right?
Yes. Yep.
So let's talk about those and then talk about maybe some tips for sizing and how people might choose their sizes. This is definitely a positive ease kind of sweater. Yay for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So,
so what we did with each of these is we made sure that everybody had ample yardage
right.
for swatching and, little tweaking
Yes.
here and there because,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because it's super important to swatch. People don't like to swatch, but here's the thing. Because the bottom of the sweater is knitted in the round, often our gauge is different between knitting in the round and knitting back and forth. So doing both is paramount and important for this particular sweater.
It really is.
We're going to have a whole video about swatching. And if you don't want to swatch, I hope you can find someone that will love the sweater if it doesn't fit you. So live
It'll fit
dangerously if you
someone.
want, but I probably will not be super empathetic if it doesn't fit you and you choose not to swatch. Just saying.
I feel that. I feel that deeply. But, it'll fit someone, right?
Right.
You
But I
know,
want it to
all
fit
that hard work.
me. I'm spending the money, I'm doing the work, I'm knitting this for me. I want it to fit me, so I will be swatching extensively. So you will have yardage in order to swatch as well.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. And as a selfish knitter, I am fully on board with this. If you don't swatch, it's it's living on the edge, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. How can I say this in a PG way? Okay, maybe it's NC-17. Disclaimer, swatching is kinda like foreplay, right? You wanna get to know your yarn and your needles, and you don't just wanna have a one-night stand. This is a relationship that you're building here, and you don't wanna, you don't wanna just rush it.
No, no, you
So
wanna ease into it and then
ease into
enjoy
it,
it.
enjoy it, have some one-on-one time with your yarn
Yeah.
and needles. It's not just, "Okay, let's hurry and knit this sweater and then be done." I mean, nobody enjoys that.
Nobody does. It's not fun. You're sitting there like producing and
You don't
yeah,
need to do that. We wanna take it easy, and we wanna love what we're doing, right? And we wanna have a
absolutely.
satisfactory result at the end.
There's nothing worse than getting done with a sweater and you put it on and you're like, this isn't
Bummer.
for me. I spent weeks and months with this yarn and it's just not for me.
So do yourself a favor, swatch properly so that you can enjoy the process and then have the afterglow where you're like, "Oh, that's lovely."
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you see what we're saying here, people. Right?
Love your yarn. Love your yarn. Have an affair with it.
And the process. Right.
Yes.
Right. Don't rush it.
No.
Get to know each other first.
Yeah. It's sad when it's rushed. It's so unsatisfying.
Okay, we are talking about knitting.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Talking about knitting.
Okay. So you will have ample yardage in your kits to account for this swatching relationship that is so important.
Absolutely. Yeah, when we calculated, I made sure that each calculation for each yardage, it's almost but not quite a full ball for each one.
Okay.
But to get the required yardage, we had to go there and it just so happened that you got plenty to swatch with.
Well, and here's the other reason that I ordered extra for my kit, because I really like it. I really like the colors. And I thought, well, you and I talked about this. If you have enough left over, it'd make a fantastic beanie, and you could do a matching cowl.
Right.
Yeah.
And because of the way the colors work out and the size of the balls, you're using less than 25 grams of each of the contrast colors.
Right.
So that leaves you with plenty because these are 50-gram balls, leaves you with
Mhm.
plenty
Mhm.
to make something for yourself afterwards.
Right. And I know that's a lot. People are going to say, well, if I only need 20 grams and it's a 50-gram ball or whatever you have left over, who doesn't love stash yarn? I mean, really.
Well,
I'm
and
going
it's
to
such
knit.
a good yarn.
Yes, I'm gonna knit a hat. I might do another Musselburgh. I might do a beanie based on the ripples pattern, and continue using the chart for the colors. I don't know. There's a cowl, like you said.
Yeah, I think a striped cowl with just a little bit of the neutrals in between, just something simple,
Yeah.
like to wear with the sweater, really would set it off.
Yes. I'm all about the beanies too, because it's cold here.
It's cold in Wyoming.
We were just I was bitching about that. It was -17 this morning. Not wind chill, just regular straight up -17 Fahrenheit. I don't even know what that is for Celsius, but it's really cold. It's like you breathe
It's
in
cold.
and things hurt.
Yeah, your face hurts.
Your face hurts. But
Yeah.
wool is queen. I had my Musselburgh hat pulled down, turned up, so it was 4 layers, and then I had a cowl up over in the back so it would stay right here, and then, you gotta leave the glasses inside because they just fog up and freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fine.
Well, even here, with the 20s and 30s, when I'm out walking the dogs,
Yep.
I'm and with a headband on and just trying to keep warm.
Yes. So you'll have extra to knit accessories that go.
Yes.
I like that. Okay. So you have what you're calling the traditional colorway, and that's
Yeah. So
close
we look
to the
it's
pattern.
really close.
Yeah.
It's really close. So Chloe and I spent some time with this last week, cute little
Thanks,
Chloe,
Chloe.
and we worked on off of Brown Sheep's color cards, and we're lucky because we carry their Waverly, which is tons and tons of colors. So we were able to kind of put colors together.
Right.
Um, we carry Brown Sheep Nature Spun Sport regularly, and we've knit out of it. We all love it.
Mhm.
But it's a huge line, so we don't carry all of the colors. So what we didn't have, we used Waverly to fill in.
Just to show the
So
colors for the purpose of this video, because you're taking, just to clarify for a second, we're doing pre-orders. So what's going to happen is you're going to go on the website and order the colorway and the size that you want, and then Rebecca's going to order directly and make sure that she has everything from Brown Sheep sent to her. She'll package up your kit, curate all that for you, and ship it out as soon as possible. So we're doing pre-orders here, but the colorways that you don't necessarily have in stock at the moment in the Nature Spun, you have a representative to show us in the smaller skeins of Waverly.
yes,
Right.
yes. And we checked with Brown Sheep. We have plenty. So my plan is to make a weekly order
Good.
so that we can get them out every week.
Yay.
So yeah. So our first one is the traditional one. So we went with I know that the original is done in kind of a gray, and to kind of get that feel, but also we thought, this could use maybe a little warming up,
Mhm.
but still have it be neutral. So we started with this kind of grayy color. It's called ash. It's not quite gray, not quite beige. It's kind of got an oatmeal-y feel.
Mhm.
And then we chose
Ooh,
these as the contrast colors,
nice.
with this little pop of olive green and these beautiful
Yeah,
blues. Yeah. So they're a little bit
nice.
more muted than it shows up,
Uh-huh,
but I think it's a good representation of what was
right.
shown.
And for
So
people who may be thinking, "Why can't we use those little mini skeins of Waverly for our pops?" The Waverly is entirely different. It's,
totally different.
yeah, we're just showing you this because it's a representation of the colors. Let's pause for a second and revisit gauge and yarn. Now, the
Yeah.
pattern calls for fingering weight. I did a bunch of swatching with Nature Spun fingering, but it is a light fingering. And so I wasn't able to get a satisfactory gauge resulting in fabric that I thought would be good for a sweater. It would be fine for a shawl, but it was pretty airy. And I didn't think it wasn't what I wanted for a sweater. So I had Brown Sheep send me just one skein of Nature Spun Sport so that I could swatch with that. And it is, in my mind, kind of a lighter weight sport or a heavier-ish fingering. So that's why we're going with a sport weight, quotes, rather than a fingering, because that's the way the Nature Spun from Brown Sheep falls. You see what I mean?
Well, and your gauge on the pattern was 23 stitches for 4 inches, and Nature Spun's gauge is 24 stitches for 4 inches, and it knits beautifully at that gauge.
Yeah. Yeah, I did my swatch with a US 5 and got gauged, and the fabric was lovely. So your mileage may vary. Also important to another reason you need to swatch because everybody knits differently. Hilly, the designer, and I did a podcast, and she and I were talking about how she's a much more loose knitter than I am. So everybody's different.
Yep, everybody's different.
Get to know your yarn.
Love your yarn.
Love your yarn. Oh, funny. So that's the traditional sort of pattern colors that you'd see on the photo. It's close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's inspired directly from the original, so
nice. With a little warming. Yeah,
yeah, just a little touch of warm, but it's gonna really set off those beautiful blue colors.
yeah,
And
it's lovely.
so the next one we came up with was inspired by Pearl Together, but we all love those jewel tones, right? And we want to feel like a princess when we wear it. And I loved that the little pops of color, they remind me of little jewels set into something. So we did kind of a cooler jewel tone color, and we're starting out with this charcoal, which even though it's called charcoal, it's more of a medium heathery gray.
Love it.
And then we put in these purples, all various purples, and then this pop of turquoise right there that just it works so well with all of those beautiful purple
You
colors.
know, that's what I'm doing.
I know what you love.
You do.
I know what my girl likes.
Yes. Well, and
So,
also for me, I feel like the lighter colors, the ash or the oatmeal kind of tone, or even the heather gray, it just really, because I'm now gray, it just really washes me out. So I need that darker. Yeah, that's fantastic.
yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
excited to get mine and
Well,
start watching.
and I like that this gray isn't it's not so dark that it's hard to see.
Right. Right.
It's gonna be something easy to see the texture.
And even with that darkest bluish purple color, that's, yeah, even the darker, there's enough contrast there that it doesn't mush together. You know what I mean?
No,
There's still enough
it definitely
difference to be
doesn't.
able to see it. Yeah.
So I knit a skirt using I used this and this color together and they pop beautifully.
Nice.
So
I'm excited.
okay, so the last one we did we're calling Masala, because we based it on this beautiful color called Toffee Bar. So this is a sweater that Tracy just did using that Toffee Bar color.
Ooh,
This is a
that's
Kate Davies
amazing.
sweater.
That's
Um,
lovely.
we have all knit with this and just absolutely love this yarn. Tracy's used it for color work. I used it for entrelac. It was
Right.
just amazing.
That
So we
darker brown is really nice.
it
I was
really
kind of torn what I was gonna do, but then I had to be true to my purple, but I was really kind of torn. Yeah.
yeah, I understand. I sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go outside my color comfort," and then I'm like, "No, I'm gonna knit what I'm gonna wear." So
So then you
so
have
we
some. Oh, that's
so
lovely.
we started with this beautiful toffee bar color, and
Yeah.
then we were kind of inspired by like the Indian spice markets.
Yeah.
So we went with these
Ooh.
beautiful warm colors. So it varies from like a brick red down to this beautiful gold. And
Uh-huh.
then the pop that we chose is this pretty olive green. And they set
That's
off so
lovely.
well.
That's so just, I mean, it's the Indian spice colors, but it's also a really nice autumnal fall palette.
Yeah, it really is. And for those people who just love warm, it's got just a
Mhm.
little touch of every one of those beautiful warm colors in it.
Yay. Well
Yay.
done.
Thanks.
Yes.
We had a
So
lot of fun with it.
people need to decide on their size based on their bust measurements, right?
Right.
She has a
And
diagram in the pattern. I will put a link to the pattern. The pattern is sold separately, make that clear. I'll put a link to the pattern down below in the video description so that you can purchase the pattern first and then look at the sizing and then place your order with Rebecca sooner rather than later, because this is a pre-order situation. It's going to take a little bit to get it because you're going to order from Brown Sheep in a pile and then
right.
put together everybody's kits.
Yeah, exactly. And we're lucky because we're so close to Brown Sheep. I mean, it's just down I-80 from us, just like you are.
Yeah.
So it gets to us fairly quickly, but we do want to pre order. That way we can make sure that everybody gets the color that they want.
Right.
I suspect that people who order now will get it in time.
Oh, yes. But because we've had such horrid weather lately with interstate closures and so forth, ordering sooner rather than later is wise. Because,
Absolutely.
stuff for shipping, I mean, like we haven't had mail in 3 days.
Wow.
The trucks aren't going from Cheyenne to wherever, and then from Casper to wherever because the interstates are closed. So ordering sooner rather than later will ensure that you get your kit on time and have a few days to swatch. But you know what? Just because I'm releasing the cast on video on March 17th, it's fine. If you cast on 2 weeks later, it's fine. It's totally fine. This isn't life or death. This is meant to be fun.
So, yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is order early. I mean, I saw a map of road closures in Wyoming, and it said on it, "Welcome to Wyoming, we're closed."
Go home.
Yeah, just go home. And
Never
I know I've
mind.
gotten stuck on 80 when it's closed and it closes. So,
Yeah. So cast on
uh,
will be March 17th. Order sooner rather than later to ensure that you get your kit if you want to cast on when I do. If you cast on a little bit late, it's fine. No big deal. It's meant to be fun. So,
yeah. Hold on. I think we have a visitor.
yay! Hi. How are you? Hi.
Hi. She's been standing there going, I want to say hi to Jan.
That's so funny. Pops in, leaves. We love you. Okay, but for viewers, that's Brandy. She works at Needlepoint Joint. She's amazing. And when
She's
we
pretty good.
well, she's fantastic. When we get to see our get to have our yarn store party, you're both usually there, and it's a fun time. Just saying.
It's a good time. So Brandy, I'll be putting all the kits together, and Brandy's actually going to take on mailing every single one of these out to you. So
Yay! So yeah, we trust her.
we do trust her. We trust her with mailing things.
Okay. Yay. Well, thank you for joining me. We'll put all the links to the website. All the kits are available now for pre-order. The website listing is available to take your money, and then you'll be able, so the sooner people do that, the sooner Rebecca can get what you need and then send it to you. So do it now.
Absolutely. And as always, if you have questions, call the store, ask for me. I'm happy to help you. And I'm here Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
So
I will put also I'll put your phone number in the video description, but also your email.
yeah, definitely
So
do.
because that's good too. People can email you and then you can answer when you have a moment. So
Exactly.
because you actually help live people in the shop as well. So
Yes. We are on the floor helping live people with their knitting all the time.
yay. Thanks for joining me again.
Absolutely. I love being here.
Hooray. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. We'll see you later.
Yeah.